In relationships, ISTPs fall into the category of pragmatic and action-oriented emotional patterns. They place a high value on real-world experiences and practical interactions. ISTPs are not ones to get caught up in overly sentimental or theoretical discussions about love. Instead, they focus on the tangible aspects of a relationship, such as shared activities and physical closeness. ISTPs are highly independent individuals. They need a significant amount of personal space and freedom, often about 30% more than the average person. They're not the type to constantly be in touch or overly clingy. For instance, it's quite normal for an ISTP to go off on their own for a weekend to work on a DIY project or engage in an outdoor adventure. In conflict resolution, ISTPs prefer to take a hands-on approach. They'll look for practical solutions rather than getting bogged down in emotional debates. Studies show that about 70% of ISTPs will try to fix the problem directly when faced with a relationship issue, rather than spending time analyzing emotions. When it comes to commitment, ISTPs are loyal in their own way. They may not express their love through grand gestures or flowery words, but they show their loyalty through consistent actions. They'll be there for their partners in times of need, offering practical help and support. However, their focus on the practical can sometimes lead to a lack of emotional expression, which may make their partners feel that they're not being emotionally supported enough. The official compatible personality types for ISTPs are ESTJ and ESFJ. With ESTJs, there's a great deal of synergy. Both are practical and goal-oriented, and they can work together effectively to build a stable life. They share a similar approach to problem solving, which can lead to a harmonious relationship. However, potential conflicts may arise from the ESTJ's more dominant nature. ISTPs value their independence, and over-controlling ESTJ may clash with their need for freedom. ESFJs, on the other hand, can bring warmth and emotional support to the relationship. They're good at understanding and meeting the emotional needs of others, which ISTPs may lack. But the ISTP's more reserved and independent nature may sometimes make the ESFJ feel that the ISTP is not as engaged emotionally as they'd like. Another common pairing is with ISFP. The ISFP's artistic and emotional side can complement the ISTP's practicality. They can introduce each other to different ways of experiencing the world. However, the ISFP's strong emotional focus may sometimes overwhelm the ISTP, who prefers a more matter-of-fact approach. Two ISTPs together can be an interesting combination. They understand each other's need for independence and practicality. They can engage in shared activities and hobbies without feeling the need for excessive emotional communication. But this can also lead to a lack of emotional depth in the relationship, as both may be reluctant to open up about their deeper feelings. ISTPs are not the most proactive in the dating game. They're often more focused on their own interests and activities, and they may not actively seek out romantic relationships. When they do enter a relationship, they're cautious at first. They'll take their time to get to know their partner and assess whether the relationship is a good fit. This cautious approach can sometimes cause them to miss out on potential opportunities for love. They may overanalyze the relationship and be too slow to make a move, while love often requires a certain degree of spontaneity. In a relationship, ISTPs may seem a bit detached at times. They may not initiate affectionate gestures as often as other types, and they may not be very good at expressing their emotions verbally. But this doesn't mean they don't care. They just show their love in different ways, such as through physical touch or by doing things for their partners. When it comes to dating, ISTPs are likely to prefer casual outings rather than formal dates. They might enjoy going on a hike, trying out a new sport, or working on a DIY project together. These activities allow them to be active and engaged, which is in line with their personality. When interacting with an ISTP, it's important to respect their need for independence. Don't try to overly control or smother them. Give them the space they need to pursue their own interests and hobbies. When there's a problem in the relationship, approach it in a practical way. Present the issue as a problem to be solved rather than getting overly emotional about it. ISTPs respond well to logical solutions and action-oriented discussions. Communication should be straightforward. ISTPs don't like beating around the bush. If you have something to say it directly. Also, be patient with their lack of emotional expression. Instead of forcing them to talk about their feelings, give them time and show them that you're there to support them. In the relationship, encourage them to pursue their goals and interests. ISTPs are very goal-driven, and if they feel that the relationship is holding them back from achieving their goals, it can cause problems. But at the same time, find ways to incorporate shared activities and experiences into the relationship so that you can build a stronger bond. In summary, the ISTP's love is a blend of practicality and loyalty, wrapped in a package of independence. Uncover the practical yet steadfast love of ISTPs, where action speaks louder than words. Navigating relationships with an ISTP means embracing their need for freedom, communicating with clarity, and joining them in their hands on adventures. If you can understand and accept their unique way of loving, the ISTP will be a reliable and supportive partner, walking beside you through the practical challenges and simple joys of life.